Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I am Janet Taylor. I am your host. And today it's just going to be the two of us because I always like to kick off a new quarter with just the two of us, just focusing on a few things. And this quarter, I want to focus on really like four things, four areas: your home, your office, your paperwork, your time. But also, I've got some exciting news because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm just going to kind of give you a preview of some of the guests we have coming up because this is not just about organizing the physical stuff or our time, but this is also about organizing our lives. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more with you shortly. But let's get into some things that you can really truly focus on and get organized in this fourth quarter as we're leading up to a new year. Because I know there were things that you probably wanted to get organized maybe in the beginning of the year, and then maybe when the springtime came, and then you said, okay, the kids are going back to school and I finally have time, and you still have those items on your list. So the first thing is in your home. And of course, you know, if there is a specific area in your home that you want to get organized and you want to get it organized by the end of the year, I definitely want to suggest to you, and you've already heard it, and you probably already are saying it. Janet's going to tell us to focus on one area, just one area, not all of the areas. Now, you may think, Janet, I've got to do the closet and the entryway and the bedroom and the kitchen and the this and the that. Focus on one thing. Now, because we're going into a new year, but we're also going into a holiday season, what area do you need to focus on? Do you need to focus on that junk room so that people, when they come over for the holidays, they'll have a place to stay? Or do you want to organize a specific area because you will be entertaining and having more people over? So think about that. But also create a timeline for your project. Don't just say, I'm going to organize it. Don't just get excited because you're thinking about all the new organizing products you're going to buy. Create a timeline. Now, depending on the size of the area and how much needs to be organized, I would suggest, this is a suggestion, that your timeline ends at least maybe 2 weeks to a week before Thanksgiving. And the reason I say that is because are you really going to feel like organizing and purging and going through stuff once the Thanksgiving holiday hits? Probably not, because you're going to want to celebrate. You're going to enjoy the holidays. So that's the first thing, is to create that timeline when you want things completed. Once you do that, then you work your way back and you begin to decide, okay, this is what I need to do first. I need to basically get rid of things. Then possibly there's a few things I may have to sell. Once I do that, then everything that is in the space I'm going to keep, then you're going to organize it. So even though, it may be a little overwhelming, but just sit down and just plan it out. Plan it out, get a piece of paper out, create your timeline when you can do things, and be realistic as well. Because sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to spend every single weekend doing something. But in reality, you may have rehearsals, you may have other things to do, you may have some projects at work that you have to complete by the end of the year, the end of the month. So take all of that in consideration when you are planning your huge organizing project for your home. But get rid of things that no longer work, things that you no longer wear, things that you no longer use. Let them go. Give them a new home. Now, the next thing, of course, is that paperwork. And with the paperwork, I want you, if you already haven't done so, to create a retention schedule so that you know how long you need to keep things. And of course, those of us in the United States, we already know, we usually keep our tax records for about 7 years, and then after that, we can let them go. But talk to your attorney, talk to your financial advisor, talk to the person who does your taxes, and say, how long do I need to keep things? Because if they're saying because of the things that you are actually own, you have to keep them a little bit longer, then at least you will know. But get rid of everything that you no longer have to keep. And if for some reason you do want to keep things, then make sure that if you need an original copy, you keep an original copy. But if not, scan it. For me, there is something about not letting go of my paperwork that says that I paid my loan. And I paid this loan off back in the 90s. So what I did was, just to give myself that comfort level, I scanned it. So I got rid of the papers. So it's basically going through, and if you get into a routine that each year you get rid of a year, you won't have a lot to have to actually hold on to. But also making sure that you have a great scanner, and most printers are scanners now, and you organize those files so you can find things the first time, the digital ones, but also a good shredder, and the shredders that basically shred things into like micro tiny pieces, because unfortunately people do like to go into your trash and they may want to put things together. So think about that as well. Then, of course, it is the office, the workspace, whether you have an office inside your home, outside your home. Really begin to think about how you want it to function, what you want. As you can see, I don't really have anything on my desk. I like my desk clear because it allows me to be focused on whatever I'm doing, whether I'm doing a podcast or working on a project or writing a blog. But I like to use different things to keep things accessible. For example, you can see, and I'm not good at really pointing sometimes, but those red magazine boxes, they hold things. One holds everything in regards to, because I have a license to sell life insurance. So it holds all of that information in there. But then the other one has things, for example, I call them members of my team. It could be the person who does my taxes. It could be my virtual assistant. Sometimes I have to have conversations with the person who helps me manage my money. And whenever I want to talk to them about something, I always put it in there so I can grab it. Then, of course, I use these wonderful baskets behind me, because baskets are great not only in the home but also in the office. Because one basket has all of my calendars and journals. Because, yes, I do like planners, I do like writing things down. So that helps me keep them accessible, specifically when I want to, you know, uh, review something or refer to something. But just look at how you want. Now, I have an L-shaped desk. Maybe that will not be, you know, work for you because of your space, but I like it because I can spread things out. But just think about how you want to be productive, not only in the fourth quarter, but also going into the new year. What things do you need to take off of your desk so that you can truly focus on what you need to do? And then the final thing, and a lot of you, all these tips you've probably heard me say over the years, but your time. So the first thing is, and you've heard me say this, 15 minutes of preparation the night before saves you an hour the next day. So think about that with your time. Think about what you can do the night before. Lay your clothes out, put your shoes out. Do you take, if you're going on site, do you need to like gather your snacks in the refrigerator and just put them so you can grab them in the morning and go? Do you know where your keys are? Do you have your flash drives and all the things you need in your tote? Also, having that weekly planning session with yourself. Yes, Janet has a weekly plan. I have a weekly planning session with myself. I sit down I open up my digital calendar, I have my planner, and I plan my week. So I'll know exactly what projects I need to focus on for the business. But also, what else do I need to do? I need to select a day where I am going to go grocery shopping, because I still like to go grocery shopping because it gets me out the house. What day I'm going to do laundry, what day I'm going to do cleaning. And it all depends on what my schedule is. Because there are times when, yes, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning working, and maybe I'm done at 3, so I can do something a little bit, in the early evening. But then there are times when my workshops don't end until 9:30 at night. So how do I need to arrange my week so that I get my work done, but I'm not overwhelmed and I still manage my home? So sit down, and also making sure you schedule in time for you, because that is key. When you schedule in time for yourself, that is so, so important. And also, in regards to time, something else I want you to do is I want you to double your time. That's right. Double the time it takes you to do something. So if you think something's going to take 15 minutes, block out 30 minutes. Block out 30 minutes because if it takes you 20 or 25 minutes, you'll still feel ahead of the game. But if you only block out 15 and it takes you 20 or 25 minutes, then you will feel like you are going to, basically run into an overflow into your next meeting, appointment, etc. You're going to be running late for something. Because just remember, have there been times, and this has happened to me, oh, I'm going to make a quick trip to the store. And then all of a sudden, you go to the store, there's more employees in there. Everything has been switched. What was on the left side of the store is on the right. What was on the right is on the left. People are looking, confused because everything's moved around. So that quick trip is no longer a quick trip. And it's taken me a lot longer. Or sometimes you go to a store and they don't even have what you need, and therefore you have to go to another store. So make sure you double that time. So just to recap in some fourth quarter goals, number one, make yourself a plan with a timeline that's realistic and just get rid of things, sell things, organize what's left. Get a retention schedule for all of that paperwork so you'll really know how long you need to keep it, and shred and scan as often as you need to. And then, of course, in your office, just making sure that you make it functional for you and you use the tools that you need in order to get things done. And with your time, 15 minutes of planning saves you an hour, and an hour of planning can save you 3 to 4 in execution. So, before I end this conversation, I am truly excited because, as I said, I wanted October to truly be focused on breast cancer awareness. So I brought on women who are doing phenomenal things in the world, who were all diagnosed and who are all survivors, and their journey on how they managed it, because everybody's going to manage it differently. We kick off with, of course, a doctor, Dr. Monique Gary, or Dr. Mo. Then, of course, we have a good friend and fellow organizer, Christy Lingo, who is an ADHD mompreneur, and just how, with ADHD and how she handled it. Then we have Dr. Angela Chester. She is a publisher. She is a speaker, motivational speaker, coach, minister. How does she deal with it emotionally when she's actually, you know, the one who always motivates people? And last but not least, Dr. Deborah Roebuck, who is the menopause whisperer, and she's going to be telling us, ladies, how breast cancer and well as menopause, how all of that kind of just, works, you know, within us, sometimes against us. But in all of these conversations, there is a nugget you can take up in how you can be prepared, how you can overcome, how you can be inspired. Because we go from somebody who found out when they were in their 20s to somebody that found out when they were in their 40s. So it doesn't matter. But I wanted to have these because I just felt like, what, it is time for us to really prepare ourselves, hear some stories, and know that whatever life kind of throws at us, we can do it as long as we are prepared, as well as organized, and of course surrounded by the right people. So I hope you enjoyed this short segment as I kick off a new quarter, the fourth quarter and the last quarter of the new year. So let me know how you feel about this segment, but also if there is something that you want me to talk about, a conversation that you want me to have, please feel free to share it in the chat and below. I always say the chat because you know what? I do all these webinars. It's always about the chat, but the comments below. So you continue to have a great day and an organized day, and I will see you soon. Bye.